my precious chosen one, today, on February 18th, in just 45 seconds your life will change forever. This is not an ordinary day. This is not a random message. Archangel Gabriel is blowing the trumpet over your house, and something shocking is hidden in your backyard or under your doorstep. Open this to reveal the truth. Listen carefully. There are moments in life when heaven interrupts earth, when the invisible realm breaks into your routine, when the air around your home shifts, even if you cannot see it. Today is that moment for you. Archangel Gabriel does not blow the trumpet without purpose. A trumpet is not a decoration of heaven. It is a signal. It is an announcement. It is a divine alarm clock that awakens destiny. And right now, that sound is echoing over your roof, over your walls, over the ground beneath your feet. You may think this is symbolic, but I tell you, something has been placed near your life. Something hidden. Something buried. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. But by design. In just 45 seconds, something in your spirit will shift. You have been walking over it. You have been living above it. You have been sleeping near it. Yet you did not know what was beneath your awareness. The backyard represents what is behind you. The doorstep represents what is about to enter your life. This is not about fear. This is about revelation. There are blessings that hide in plain sight, and there are truths that remain covered until the trumpet sounds. Gabriel's trumpet is a declaration. It is time to uncover what has been concealed. Why today? Why February 18th? Because timing in the spiritual realm is precise. You have crossed into a divine appointment. The delay is over. The silence is breaking. The waiting season is closing. Something shocking is hidden, yes, but not to destroy you. It is to awaken you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A trumpet blast so powerful that the ground beneath your house trembles, not physically, but spiritually. Old cycles crack. Old lies collapse. Old fears lose their grip. Something has been buried under your doorstep. For some of you, it is a forgotten promise. For others, it is a generational pattern that was never confronted. And for a few of you, it is a blessing you once prayed for but stopped believing in. The trumpet is not calling judgment over you. It is calling revelation into you. You have sensed that something was off in your home. Maybe tension without explanation. Maybe heaviness in certain corners. Maybe strange resistance whenever you try to move forward. That is because hidden things carry energy, and heaven is exposing what earth tried to conceal. But here is the twist no one told you. What is hidden is not necessarily dark. Sometimes the enemy hides your treasure so you forget it exists. Sometimes destiny is buried so you walk in circles instead of stepping into purpose. Gabriel's trumpet does not only announce warnings, it announces arrivals. It announces transitions. It announces divine interventions. In just 45 seconds, your perspective will change. Not because your house physically moves, but because your awareness expands. The backyard is symbolic of your past. A doorstep is symbolic of your threshold. Something from your past is trying to cross into your future. And heaven is saying, pause. Live. Discern. Have you noticed repeated dreams recently? Have you felt sudden urges to clean, rearrange, or shift things in your home? That is not random. That is preparation. There is a spiritual unveiling happening. You are not watching this by accident. You were guided here. You were led here. Because the trumpet sound is personalized. that carries your name within its vibration. And here is what makes this so powerful. Once the trumpet sounds, what is hidden cannot remain hidden. Truth rises. Seers service. Destiny awakens. You may feel your heart beating faster right now. That is not fear. That is recognition. Your spirit recognizes the sound before your mind understands it. Something shocking is hidden in your backyard or under your doorstep. But the shock is not destruction. It is discovery. In just 45 seconds, you will begin to see signs. Conversations will shift. Clarity will come. A memory may return. A realization may strike you like lightning. This is your unveiling moment. Gabriel is not whispering. He is blowing the trumpet. Loud. Clear. Directly over your house. And when heaven makes an announcement over a home, that home can never remain the same. Take a deep breath. Because what you are about to uncover will change the way you see your past, your house, and your future. The sound has already begun. Beloved soul, the sound of the trumpet has not faded. It is still vibrating in the unseen realm, and now it is moving closer to the ground beneath your feet. What began as a heavenly announcement is becoming a personal revelation. February 18th is not just a date on a calendar. It is a spiritual marker. It is the day something hidden begins to lose its cover. When Archangel Gabriel blows the trumpet, it does not create confusion. It creates exposure. It separates illusion from truth. And right now, something around your home is being spiritually highlighted. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but you are beginning to feel it in your chest. A stirring, a pressure, a sense that something is about to be uncovered. The backyard represents what you left behind, the memories you buried, the prayers you stopped repeating because you thought heaven was silent. The doorstep represents entry. It represents permission. It represents what you allow to cross into your life. And here is the revelation. Something from your past has been waiting at your threshold, seeking access into your future. But heaven is interrupting that access. Gabriel's trumpet is not only a call to awaken, it is a call to inspect. There are spiritual deposits placed in your life long ago that were covered by distraction, doubt, or delay. Some of you once stood in your backyard, symbolically speaking, and declared a dream. You made a promise. You asked God for a sign. And when time passed without visible change, you assumed it was over. It was never over. It was hidden. There is a difference between something being denied and something being delayed for divine timing. Today is proof that delay does not mean cancellation. The trumpet over your house is announcing restoration of awareness. What was buried is not dead. What was covered is not forgotten. You may suddenly remember a conversation from years ago, a warning someone gave you, a vision you once had, a strange event that never made sense at the time. These memories are surfacing because the ground is shifting spiritually. The trumpet sound is breaking open layers of silence. Do not ignore subtle signs today. If you feel prompted to check something, clean something, move something, or pray in a specific corner of your home, pay attention. Heaven often reveals through gentle nudges before dramatic events. But here is the deeper truth. Sometimes what is hidden under the doorstep is not an object. It is an agreement. An agreement made in fear. An agreement made in pain. Words spoken over your house in anger. Declarations made when you felt hopeless. Words have power. And if negative declarations were spoken over your space, they can linger like seeds buried in soil. Gabriel's trumpet uproots those seeds. The shocking truth is this: what you thought was normal resistance may have been spiritual interference. What you thought was bad luck may have been unaddressed spiritual residue. But today, the announcement over your house is breaking that cycle. You are not being warned to be afraid. You are being called to be aware. And awareness changes everything. When truth is revealed, it loses its hidden control. When something buried is exposed to light, it cannot operate in secrecy anymore. That is why this message found you now. Not last year. Not next month. Today. There is a reason your spirit feels alert. There is a reason you did not scroll past this. Something in you knows that this moment is significant. This is the beginning of a covering. And as you continue listening, something even deeper will come to the surface. What seemed shocking at first will soon feel like confirmation. A missing piece will click into place. If this message is resonating with you, if you feel that stirring inside, do not stay silent. Like this video as a sign that you are aligned with this revelation. Share it with someone whose house may also be under divine inspection. Comment what you are sensing in your spirit right now. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this growing movement where heavenly messages are released with clarity and power. Join the membership if you feel called to go deeper into these revelations. Because what is unfolding next is not random. It is layered. And the next layer will reveal why February 18th was chosen specifically for you. Hold on to that feeling in your chest. The unveiling has only just begun. Chosen vessel of destiny, the air around your house has already shifted, even if your physical eyes cannot measure it. February 18th is not passing like any ordinary day because the trumpet of Archangel Gabriel was not sounded for noise. It was sounded for exposure. And now the revelation is moving from the surface into the core. There is something you must understand. When heaven announces that something shocking is hidden in your backyard or under your doorstep, it is not speaking only of physical ground. It is speaking of spiritual foundations. Every house stands on a foundation. Every life stands on beliefs, agreements, and unseen structures. And sometimes, what was built long ago was built on incomplete truth. The backyard represents history, the footsteps you took, the seasons you survived, the relationships that shape you. Beneath that soil lies more than memories. It holds vows you whispered when no one was listening. It holds tears that fell in silence. It holds promises you made to yourself in moments of desperation. Under your doorstep is different. The doorstep is covenant space. It is where decisions cross from outside to inside. It is where opportunities enter. It is where danger is either allowed in or kept out. If something has been hidden there, it means something has been influencing your entry points, your finances, your peace, your relationships, your spiritual growth. Archangel Gabriel does not blow the trumpet randomly. In Scripture, the trumpet signals divine transition. It signals that a chapter is closing and another is opening. But before a new chapter begins, the old foundation must be examined. If there has been a hidden agreement, a silent compromise, or an inherited pattern passed down through generations, it must be exposed before you can fully step forward. For some of you, the shocking truth is this. You have been living beneath your calling because something from your past convinced you that you were unworthy. That belief became a buried stone under your doorstep. Every time opportunity knocked, that stone created hesitation. Every time promotion approached, the stone whispered doubt. But today, the trumpet blast is cracking that stone. You may suddenly feel emotions rising that you thought were resolved. You may feel drawn to pray over your home in a way you never have before. That is not imagination. That is activation. The spiritual realm responds when heaven makes a public declaration over a private life. Here is the mystery being revealed. What was hidden was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to be uncovered at the appointed time so you would recognize your authority. If it had been revealed too early, you would not have understood its significance. If it had remained hidden too long, it would have limited your expansion. But today's precise timing. There are ancestral cycles that end when one person becomes aware. There are generational limitations that dissolve when one person says, "No more." The trumpet over your house is not only about exposure, it is about empowerment. You are being shown what was hidden so you can reclaim ground that belongs to you. Walk through your house in your mind right now. Imagine light entering every room. Imagine the ground beneath your doorstep glowing with clarity. Imagine the backyard soil releasing what was buried. This is not fantasy. This is prophetic alignment. Light always reveals what darkness tried to conceal. And as revelation increases, so does responsibility. You are not called to panic. You are called to pray. You are not called to fear. You are called to stand. Because when heaven reveals, it also equips. If this message has stirred something undeniable within you, then respond with faith. Type "truth is rising" in the comments if you feel this unveiling in your spirit. Blessing code 318 is now activated over your house. And as this code is released, understand something deeper. When you sow into a message that exposes truth, you are sowing into the freedom of others. The word declares, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." This is not ancient text. This is God speaking over you right now. When you release super thanks, join the membership, or send your offering through the PayPal link in the description. You are placing oil in the lamp so this trumpet can continue to sound for souls who are still sleeping. I hear you saying in your heart, "I want to be part of this awakening." And act on it. Do not hesitate when heaven is moving. Every seed you sow becomes a river of revelation for someone else's house. As you give, may open heavens answer you. As you release, may hidden blessings surface in your own ground. Step into this prophetic moment and seal it with action. Faithful listener, something is happening beneath the surface that your natural eyes cannot fully interpret yet, but your spirit is beginning to recognize it. The trumpet has sounded. The exposure has begun. And now the ground beneath your life is responding. When Archangel Gabriel blows the trumpet, it creates a ripple effect. First, there is awareness. Then, there is disturbance. Not chaos, but disruption. A holy disruption. Old patterns begin to feel uncomfortable. Familiar routines start to feel misaligned. Conversations that once seemed normal now carry a strange tension. This is not coincidence. This is consequence of revelation. You must understand this clearly. Whenever hidden things are brought to light, there is a moment of adjustment. If something was buried under your doorstep, symbolically speaking, it has been influencing your entry points for years. It has shaped how you receive love. It has shaped how you accept opportunities. It has shaped how you respond to blessings. Now that it is being exposed, your reactions will begin to change. You may find yourself less tolerant of what once drained you. You may feel a sudden boldness rising within you. That boldness is not arrogance. It is clarity. When truth surfaces, confusion loses its power. There is a reason the message mentioned your backyard. The backyard is where things are often stored out of sight. It is where unfinished projects sit. It is where forgotten items gather dust. Spiritually, your backyard represents postponed decisions and unresolved chapters. Some of you left emotional doors open years ago. You walked away physically, but spiritually the thread remained attached. Gabriel's trumpet is severing those threads. You are entering a season where what is behind you will no longer chase you. But before that freedom feels complete, there may be a final confrontation with truth. Not a confrontation with a person, but with yourself. You may have to admit where you settled. You may have to acknowledge where fear dictated your choices. Do not resist this moment. Embrace it. The shocking element is not that something was hidden. The shocking element is that it survived this long without being addressed. Yet even that survival was permitted for a reason. You needed maturity to handle this revelation. You needed strength to stand firm when the ground shifted. Notice how specific this timing feels. February 18th is not random in your journey. It marks the end of silent influence. It marks the closing of subtle manipulation. It marks the end of unseen agreements that were never meant to define your future. Under your doorstep is authority. The doorstep is where ownership is established. It is where you decide what crosses into your home and what remains outside. If something was buried there, it was attempting to influence your authority without your awareness. But now that you are aware, authority returns to you. You may feel a deep urge to declare peace over your house. Do it. You may feel compelled to speak aloud words of blessing over your rooms. Do it. When revelation comes, action must follow. The trumpet announces. You respond. There is another layer you must grasp. Sometimes the hidden thing is not negative at all. Sometimes it is a calling you avoided because it felt too big. A responsibility you delayed because it required courage. A leadership role you declined because it demanded visibility. What if the shocking discovery is that you are more powerful than you believed? What if what was hidden was not a threat but a mantle? Gabriel's trumpet often announces assignments. In ancient times, trumpets gathered people for battle, celebration, or movement. The sound meant, prepare yourself. You are being prepared. Something is about to require your voice, your wisdom, your steadiness. The reason the trumpet is over your house is because your house is becoming a place of influence. Your space is becoming spiritually significant. The atmosphere around you is shifting from ordinary to intentional. Pay attention to your dreams tonight. Pay attention to sudden insights. Revelation does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it settles like quiet certainty. You are not the same person who began listening. Awareness has already changed you. And once awareness expands, it cannot shrink back to ignorance. The ground has been disturbed. The hidden has been exposed. Authority is returning to your doorstep. Stand in it, because what unfolds next will confirm that this was never about fear. It was always about awakening. Steadfast heart, now that the ground has been disturbed and awareness has risen within you, the deeper unveiling begins. What started as a trumpet blast over your house is now becoming a mirror held up to your soul. And this is where transformation becomes undeniable. You must realize something powerful. Revelation is not only about discovering what was hidden around you. It is about uncovering what was hidden within you. The backyard and the doorstep were symbols, but your life itself is the house heaven is addressing. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet did not sound to entertain you. It sounded to reposition you. There are seasons when heaven remains quiet, allowing you to grow in faith without visible confirmation. Then there are moments like this, when silence breaks and clarity rushes in like wind through an open window. You are standing in that rush right now. Think about the last few months of your life. The unusual delays. The sudden closures. The strange sense that something was building behind the scenes. You may have felt frustration, even disappointment. But what if those delays were protection? What if those closed doors were preventing something unclean from stepping across your threshold? When something is hidden under a doorstep, it attempts to influence what enters. That means some opportunities you lost were not losses at all. They were diversions. Heaven was not denying you. Heaven was guarding you. This realization alone changes everything. There is also another truth rising to the surface. Some of you have been carrying guilt over decisions made in weakness. You believed those decisions permanently altered your destiny. You believed something was buried in your past that disqualified you from greater things. But hear this clearly. Exposure does not equal condemnation. Gabriel's trumpet announces alignment, not shame. If something was buried in your backyard, it may represent regret. But regret loses power when it is brought into light. The moment you acknowledge it, it stops controlling your future. And today, that control is breaking. You may feel lighter without knowing why. You may feel emotional without understanding the source. That is because hidden pressure is lifting. When something unseen influences your life, it creates subtle weight. When it is revealed and confronted, that weight dissolves. But revelation also brings responsibility. Now that you are aware of your authority, you cannot return to passivity. Now that you know the ground beneath you is sacred, you cannot treat your life casually. Something sacred is unfolding around you. There is a reason the message emphasized 45 seconds. It symbolizes sudden shift. Sometimes it takes years to prepare for a moment that only lasts seconds. A decision, a realization, a declaration. In less than a minute, your perception can change permanently. And once perception changes, direction follows. Your life is not about to change because of external drama. It is about to change because internal clarity is crystallizing. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet often signals divine messages being delivered. Gabriel is known as a messenger. That means what is happening over your house is communication. Heaven is communicating with precision. You are not being left in confusion. Look at the patterns in your life. Notice what keeps repeating. Notice what consistently drains you. Notice what consistently energizes you. The hidden thing may have been a pattern you normalized, but now you are seeing it for what it truly is. Patterns can be broken. Cycles can end. Foundations can be rebuilt stronger than before. There is also something beautiful hidden in this revelation. Beneath every exposure is opportunity. If something was buried wrongly, you now have the chance to plant something intentionally. If an old agreement was influencing your threshold, you can now establish a new covenant of peace and strength over your house. This is empowerment, and empowerment feels different from comfort. It may stretch you. It may require conversations you postpone. It may require boundaries you hesitated to create. But remember, the trumpet did not sound to leave you unchanged. It sounded because you are ready. You are ready to step into higher awareness. You are ready to claim authority over your space. You are ready to close doors that were never meant to stay open. Stand firm in this shift. Do not minimize what you are feeling. Do not dismiss the significance of today. The unveiling is progressing exactly as it should. And what is about to unfold next will reveal why this moment was orchestrated with such precision from the unseen realm. Awakened one, now the atmosphere around your life is no longer subtle. The shift is becoming undeniable. What began as a trumpet over your house has now turned into a movement within your spirit. You are not imagining the intensity. You are stepping into alignment. There is a stage in every divine unveiling where resistance tries to make one final stand. When something hidden is exposed, it does not disappear quietly. It attempts to justify its presence. It whispers, "This is normal. Nothing is changing." But you know better now. You feel the difference. The ground beneath your life has already shifted. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet was not a gentle background sound. It was a declaration of transition. And transition always requires courage. You are moving from unconscious patterns into conscious authority. That movement can feel uncomfortable at first because awareness demands action. Pay attention to what is surfacing in conversations around you. Are people reacting differently to you? Are you sensing tension where there used to be complacency? That is because when you rise in awareness, dynamics around you must adjust. Some will align. Some will resist. But none of it is accidental. Under your doorstep was influence. Now that influence is losing its grip. And when influence weakens, clarity strengthens. You may suddenly see through manipulation you once tolerated. You may recognize distractions that once seemed harmless. That is not judgment. That is discernment. Discernment is a gift. The shocking truth hidden near your house was not there to destroy you. It was there to test whether you will remain asleep or awaken when the trumpet sounded. And you awakened. But awakening is not passive. It is active. You must now guard your threshold intentionally. What enters your mind? What conversations are allowed into your home? What energies are welcomed into your environment? Authority means you choose carefully. Some of you are realizing that certain habits must end. Others are recognizing that certain dreams must finally begin. Exposure clears the path for movement. The delay you experienced was not permanent. It was preparatory. February 18th marked the announcement. What follows is implementation. There is another layer unfolding. The trumpet over your house was also a warning to anything that overstayed its permission. Spiritual interference cannot remain where authority has been reclaimed. Peace begins to re-establish itself when truth stands firm. You may notice your sleep improving. You may feel unexpected calm washing over you. These are signs of alignment. When hidden agreements are broken, inner turbulence decreases. But do not become complacent. This is the moment to solidify what has been revealed. Speak life over your space. Declare clarity over your future. Replace old internal dialogues with truth. When exposure happens, replan with intention. This is also a moment of unity. If this message has confirmed what you have been sensing, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video as a declaration that you are stepping into awareness. Share it with someone whose life feels unsettled because they may be standing over hidden influence without realizing it. Comment what has shifted inside you since listening. Subscribe to this channel if you are ready to walk consistently in revelation. Join the membership if you desire deeper spiritual insight and ongoing alignment with messages like this. There is something powerful unfolding next, something that ties your personal awakening to a larger purpose. You will want to stay with this flow because the next layer reveals why your house was chosen for this announcement in the first place. You are not just clearing ground for yourself. You are preparing ground for impact. The trumpet did not sound randomly over your roof. It sounded because your space is becoming strategic. Your awareness is becoming influential. Your decisions are about to affect more than just your own journey. Stand firm in this authority. Guard your threshold. Honor the shift. Because what is about to unfold will reveal that this awakening was never only about uncovering something hidden. It was about positioning you for something greater. Courageous soul. What is happening now is deeper than exposure and greater than awareness. The trumpet of Archangel Gabriel was not only announcing what was hidden, it was summoning who you are becoming. And this is where the transformation turns from internal realization to external manifestation. You have cleared the ground. You have recognized the hidden influence. You have reclaimed authority at your doorstep. And now something else begins to rise from beneath your life: purpose. Here is a reason the trumpet was described as blowing over your house. A house represents identity, stability, covering, and legacy. When heaven marks a house, it is marking a lineage. It is declaring that something new will flow from this place. And you are the steward of that flow. The shocking thing hidden in your backyard was not only a buried pattern or forgotten agreement. For some of you, it was potential. Untapped potential that was placed within you long ago but never fully activated. You carried it quietly. You sensed it in moments of inspiration. But distractions, fear, and delay kept it buried. Now it is surfacing. And when potential surfaces, responsibility follows. You may begin to feel a sense of urgency about things you once postponed. Ideas may come to you more clearly. Solutions to long-standing problems may suddenly appear simple. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. When hidden barriers are removed, creativity flows. There is also a shift happening in how others perceive you. Some will notice confidence in your voice. Some will sense clarity in your decisions. Do not shrink back when this happens. The trumpet that sounded over your house also sounded over your identity. Gabriel is a messenger of divine announcements. His presence signals that what is spoken next carries weight, and what is being spoken over you now is commissioning. You are being commissioned to lead differently, to speak differently, to choose differently. This does not mean your life will become loud or dramatic. In fact, it may become more focused. You will begin to prioritize peace over popularity. You will value truth over comfort. You will recognize quickly when something does not align with your direction. This is maturity. The backyard once symbolized what was behind you. Now it symbolizes growth. A backyard can be cultivated. It can produce fruit if tended intentionally. What was once buried soil is becoming fertile ground. What will you plant now? This is the question heaven is placing before you. Exposure cleared the old. Authority secured the threshold. Now cultivation begins. There may still be moments of doubt. That is natural when stepping into unfamiliar territory. But doubt no longer controls you. It simply passes through like a cloud. Your foundation is stronger now because it has been inspected. Notice how your thoughts are becoming sharper. Notice how your discernment feels quicker. That is the result of truth taking root. There is something else unfolding that you must not overlook. As your house becomes aligned, others connected to you will feel the shift. Peace has influence. Clarity has influence. When one person in a space awakens, the atmosphere adjusts. You may find that conversations in your home become more meaningful. You may notice tension decreasing. That is because hidden interference is losing ground. But this awakening is not only for your private life. It is preparation for visible impact. Opportunities will come that require the version of you that stands in authority. Had they come earlier, you might have hesitated. Now, you will recognize them. The trumpet did not sound to scare you. It sounded to gather you into your next season. And here is the deeper revelation. Nothing that was uncovered was stronger than you. If it had been, it would not have been revealed in your timing. You were shown the hidden thing because you are capable of overcoming it. Stand tall in this realization. You are not merely someone who received a message. You are someone who responded to a call. The ground beneath your life has been turned. The threshold has been secured. Potential is rising. What unfolds next will show you how this personal awakening connects to a divine assignment larger than you imagined. The trumpet is not fading, it is guiding you forward. Anointed listener, what you are stepping into now is not simply personal growth. It is divine alignment with a larger movement that began the moment the trumpet sounded over your house. The awakening was never meant to stop at exposure. It was meant to ignite purpose that carries beyond your walls. There is a sacred pattern unfolding. First, heaven announces. Then, hidden things are revealed. After revelation, authority is restored. And once authority is restored, assignment is released. You are standing at the edge of assignment. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet does not merely uncover what was buried. It prepares the ground for proclamation. Gabriel is a messenger of pivotal transitions. When he appears in sacred history, destinies shift. Births are announced. Missions are clarified. Silence ends. The trumpet over your house is not an isolated event. It is a signal that your life is intersecting with something prophetic. You may begin to feel that your experiences were training. The struggles you endured were not random hardships, they were preparation. The confusion you once faced sharpened your discernment. The delays built patience. The disappointment strengthened resilience. Nothing was wasted. The shocking truth hidden near your doorstep was a final barrier. Now that it has been exposed and removed, there is space for acceleration. Doors that once resisted you will begin to open with unusual ease. Conversations that once felt heavy will become lighter. You will sense flow replacing friction. But acceleration requires surrender. You cannot step into assignment while clinging to old identity. The version of you that tolerated hidden influence cannot lead in clarity. The version of you that doubted your authority cannot steward greater responsibility. The trumpet has already called you higher. Now you must respond fully. Some of you are sensing a call to speak truth more boldly. Others are feeling drawn to create, to build, to mentor, to serve in ways you postponed. Do not ignore these promptings. They are not fleeting emotions. They are seeds of assignment. Your house has become a launching point. That is why the announcement was specific. It was not a vague message about the world. It was personal. It named your house, your backyard, your doorstep. Because your life is not generic. It is intentional. You may still wonder, why me? The answer is simple. Because you listened. Because you responded. Because when the trumpet sounded, you did not dismiss it as noise. Heaven responds to attention, and no attention is turning into commissioning. There will be moments ahead where you are tested in subtle ways, not to break you, but to confirm your growth. Old temptations to settle will reappear briefly, just to see if you will recognize them. And you will, because awareness has changed you permanently. This is the difference between being informed and being transformed. You have been transformed. The atmosphere around your life feels different because it is different. You are no longer walking unconsciously over hidden ground. You are walking intentionally over reclaimed territory. There is also a ripple effect you may not fully see yet. As you align, others connected to you will find courage to confront their own hidden influences. Your awakening becomes permission for their awakening. That is how divine movements begin, quietly, in individual houses, one trumpet at a time. If this message has ignited something undeniable within you, seal it with declaration. Type "My house is aligned" in the comments if you receive this assignment. Blessing code 842 is now released over your dwelling and your destiny. And as this code settles over you, hear this clearly. When you support the sounding of this trumpet, you are not funding a channel. You are fueling a movement of awakening. The word declares, "Rise, shine, for your light has come." This is not ancient poetry. This is God speaking to you now. When you release super thanks, step into membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into light that pierces hidden places in other homes. I hear your spirit whispering, "I want this message to reach more houses." Then act in faith. Do not hesitate in holy moments. Every seed you release becomes a trumpet blast for someone still asleep. As you give, may your house overflow with provision. As you sow, may revelation multiply around you. Step into this prophetic exchange and secure your place in the harvest. Consecrated one, the sound that began as a trumpet over your house is now echoing through your future. What started as exposure has matured into direction. You are no longer simply uncovering what was hidden. You are stepping into what was prepared. There is a sacred transition happening inside you. The fear of what might be buried has been replaced with anticipation of what might be built. This is how divine awakening works. At first, it unsettles. Then it stabilizes. Finally, it propels. You have moved from uncertainty into clarity. The backyard that once symbolized forgotten history is now a field ready for cultivation. The doorstep that once symbolized hidden influence is now a guarded threshold of authority. But here's what you must understand next. Alignment creates momentum. When a house is spiritually aligned, decisions become sharper. Opportunities reveal themselves more clearly. You will begin to notice how quickly you recognize what belongs in your life and what does not. This is not coincidence. It is the fruit of discernment. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet was not only an announcement of exposure, it was a declaration that a new phase has begun. And new phases require new discipline. The awareness you have gained must be protected. Do not return to environments that cloud your clarity. Do not entertain conversations that weaken your conviction. Your house is marked. And when something is marked by heaven, it carries responsibility. You may feel an increasing sense that your time is valuable, that your energy must be stewarded carefully. This is not isolation, it is wisdom. When hidden interference is removed, you become sensitive to anything that tries to reintroduce confusion. Trust that sensitivity. There is also something unfolding beyond your immediate view. Alignment in one area of life often triggers breakthrough in another. As your spiritual foundation strengthens, other doors may begin to open. Financial clarity, emotional stability, creative inspiration. These shifts are interconnected. Because when the ground is healthy, growth is inevitable. You are also entering a season of confirmation. Signs will appear that affirm what you sense during this awakening. A conversation will validate your decision. A sudden opportunity will affirm your direction. A deep peace will confirm your authority. Pay attention to these confirmations. They are heaven's way of reinforcing your confidence. But do not mistake confirmation for complacency. Momentum must be maintained. Continue speaking life over your space. Continue guarding your threshold. Continue cultivating what is planted in your backyard of growth. There may still be moments where old thoughts attempt to resurface. Doubts that whisper, "Was it really that significant?" Silence those doubts with remembrance. Remember how you felt when the trumpet message first reached you. Remember the shift in your spirit. Remember the clarity that followed. That was real. And what is real produces fruit. There is also a subtle preparation happening for something larger than personal success. The alignment of your house is creating stability for influence. People will begin to look to you for guidance. They may not say it directly, but they will sense the steadiness in you. Be ready. The hidden thing that was uncovered was never meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. Now refinement is turning into leadership. Leadership does not always mean a public platform. Sometimes it means being the calm presence in chaos. Sometimes it means being the voice of wisdom in confusion. Sometimes it means simply standing firm when others waver. You are becoming that presence. The trumpet has faded into a steady rhythm of purpose. It is no longer a startling sound. It is a guiding echo. It reminds you that this journey was intentional from the beginning. And here is the deeper truth. Nothing that was revealed can return to secrecy. Once light touches ground, darkness loses territory. You are walking on illuminated soil now. What unfolds next will challenge you to expand beyond comfort. Not because you are unprepared, but because you are ready. The house has been aligned, the threshold secured, the field cultivated. No expansion begins. Determined soul expansion is not a distant promise anymore. It is pressing against the walls of your comfort zone right now. The trumpet that once startled you has now become a rhythm of forward movement. You are no longer reacting to revelation. You are responding with intention. This is the stage where many hesitate. After exposure, after alignment, after clarity, there comes a moment where action must match awareness. And that is where you stand today. The hidden thing under your doorstep has been addressed. The soil of your backyard has been turned. And now you must build. Expansion begins internally before it manifests externally. You may feel ideas forming that stretch beyond your previous limits. You may sense that certain environments no longer fit you. That discomfort is not loss, it is growth. When a house expands, walls must be adjusted. When a life expands, boundaries must shift. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet was not only a call to awaken, but a call to move. Movement requires courage. It requires trust in what has been revealed. You have been shown enough to take the next step, even if you do not see the entire staircase. There will be invitations placed before you soon. Some will look ordinary. Others will look intimidating. The key is discernment. You now carry the ability to sense alignment quickly. Trust that ability. Do not overanalyze what your spirit already understands. You are entering a season where obedience will produce acceleration. Delayed obedience once kept certain doors closed. Immediate obedience will now unlock them. This is not about striving. It is about responding. There may also be a restructuring happening in your daily habits. You might feel compelled to wake earlier, to focus differently, to manage your time with sharper intention. These are not random impulses. They are signs that your life is reorganizing around purpose. Expansion also brings visibility. As you step into greater alignment, people will notice. Some will celebrate you. Some may question you. Remain steady. Your journey is not for universal approval. It is for divine fulfillment. Under your doorstep once lay hidden influence. Now under your steps lies momentum. Every decision you make from this point forward carries weight. Speak carefully. Choose wisely. Act boldly. There is also a reminder you must hear clearly. Expansion does not mean abandoning humility. The same awareness that revealed hidden ground must remain active as you grow. Stay grounded in gratitude. Stay anchored in discernment. If this message has strengthened your resolve, do not keep that momentum to yourself. Like this video as a declaration that you are stepping into expansion. Share it with someone who feels stuck, because they may be standing on aligned ground without realizing it. Comment what area of your life you feel expanding right now. Subscribe to this channel to continue walking in revelation. Join the membership if you are ready to grow consistently and receive deeper insight. And hold your attention here, because what is unfolding next will reveal how this expansion connects to a breakthrough that impacts not only your house but your legacy. The next layer carries weight, and you will not want to miss the clarity it brings. Your life is no longer confined to hidden patterns. It is moving toward visible purpose. Expansion is not coming. It has already begun. The trumpet has done its work. The ground has responded. The threshold has been secured. Now walk forward with confidence. Resolute spirit. What you are experiencing now is the consolidation of everything that has unfolded since the trumpet first sounded over your house. Exposure led to alignment. Alignment led to expansion. And now expansion is crystallizing into legacy. This is where the message becomes even more personal. Legacy is not only about what you leave behind one day. It is about what flows through you right now. The backyard that once symbolized buried history is now a testimony field. The doorstep that once represented hidden influence is now a gate of discernment. Your house is no longer under silent pressure. It is under conscious authority. But legacy requires intention. Archangel Gabriel's trumpet marked your space because your life carries influence beyond your immediate awareness. Every decision you make from this point forward echoes further than you realize. Words spoken within your walls shape atmospheres. Choices made at your threshold establish direction not only for you, but for those connected to you. There is a new seriousness forming within you. Not heaviness, but sacred responsibility. You feel less inclined to waste time, less willing to entertain distractions, more focused on what truly matters. This shift is evidence of growth. You are not who you were before the unveiling. The hidden thing that once rested beneath your awareness no longer has power. And because it has been addressed, your confidence has deepened. Not loud confidence, but stable confidence. The kind that does not crumble under pressure. Pressure may still come. Challenges will still arise. But now you respond differently. Instead of reacting from fear, you respond from clarity. Instead of shrinking back, you stand firm. That is the mark of transformation. There is also a refining happening in your relationships. You may notice that certain connections strengthen naturally. Others may fade quietly. Do not force what is no longer aligned. When a house is aligned spiritually, it attracts what matches its atmosphere. You are becoming selective with your energy, and that selectivity is wisdom. Legacy also involves stewardship of vision. Ideas that once felt abstract are beginning to take shape. Plans that once seemed distant now feel possible. Do not dismiss these visions. Write them down. Pray over them. Take small steps toward them. Small steps compound into lasting impact. You may recall moments earlier in your life when you sensed you were meant for something more. Perhaps you silenced that thought because circumstances did not support it. But now circumstances are shifting because your internal foundation has shifted. The trumpet did not simply reveal what was hidden. It awakened what was dormant. Dormant courage is rising. Dormant creativity is stirring. Dormant leadership is emerging. There may still be voices that attempt to question your change. Some may say you are different. They are right. You are different. You are no longer walking over buried ground unconsciously. You are walking with awareness. And awareness produces stability. As this consolidation continues, you will feel a deepening peace. Not the fragile peace that depends on perfect conditions, but the durable peace that comes from alignment. This peace will anchor you when external situations fluctuate. Remember, the trumpet marked your house for a reason. Your life is becoming a reference point for others. When storms arise in their lives, they will look at your steadiness and find courage. This is how legacy begins quietly. You may not yet see the full scope of what has been set in motion, but you can sense that something irreversible has happened. The unveiling cannot be undone. The alignment cannot be forgotten. The expansion cannot be reversed without conscious choice. Choose wisely. Choose consistently. Choose alignment again and again. What unfolds next will seal this journey with final clarity and confirm that February 18th was not simply a day of revelation, but the beginning of a new era in your life. Victory is won. This is the sealing moment. What began on February 18th as a trumpet blast over your house has now become a covenant of transformation within your life. You are not standing where you once stood. You are not thinking the way you once thought. You are not carrying what you once carried. The trumpet of Archangel Gabriel did not sound in vain. He announced exposure. It initiated alignment. It ignited expansion. And now it establishes permanence. The shocking thing that was hidden in your backyard or under your doorstep has served its purpose. It revealed where influence lingered. It showed you where authority had to be reclaimed. It exposed patterns that no longer belonged in your future. But now, its power is finished. What remains is strength. Look at the journey you have walked through. Fear tried to whisper in the beginning, but clarity answered louder. Doubt attempted to question the significance, but confirmation followed. Resistance rose briefly, but authority stood firm. You have crossed a threshold, and thresholds are sacred. Once crossed, you cannot unknow what you know. You cannot return to unconscious living after awareness has illuminated your ground. You cannot pretend something is hidden once light has revealed it. February 18th will now mark the day you decided to live intentionally. Your house is no longer a place of silent interference. It is a place of guarded peace. Your backyard is no longer a field of buried memory. It is a garden of cultivated growth. Your doorstep is no longer a vulnerable entry point. It is a gate of discernment and strength. But here is the final revelation. The trumpet was not only about your protection. It was about your commissioning. Heaven does not mark a house without purpose. You have been prepared to carry clarity into spaces that still operate in confusion. You have been trained through exposure to recognize hidden influences in environments beyond your own. You will see what others overlook. You will sense what others ignore. And you will respond with wisdom. Do not underestimate the power of what has happened. Many people live entire lifetimes walking over buried agreements without ever confronting them. You confronted yours. Many ignore the subtle sound of awakening and dismiss it as coincidence. You listened. That obedience matters. From this day forward, when uncertainty tries to creep in, remember the trumpet. When distraction attempts to cloud your focus, remember the ground that was uncovered. When fear whispers that change is too difficult, remember how you already crossed the hardest part. You are no longer in transition. You are established. Stand in your house with confidence. Speak over your space with authority. Walk across your threshold with awareness. And cultivate your field with expectation. Seal this moment with faith. Type "My house is established" in the comments if you receive this completion. Blessing code 1199 is now activated over your home, your decisions, and your legacy. Now hear this final instruction. The same trumpet that sounded over your house is sounding for others who have not yet awakened. There are homes still under silent pressure. There are lives still walking over buried influence. And you have the power to help the sound reach them. Scripture declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. This is not distant history. This is God speaking directly to you in this moment. When you release super thanks, step into membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are casting seed into living waters that carry revelation into hidden houses. I hear you saying in your spirit, I want this awakening to continue. Then act now. Do not let this be a passing emotion. Every seed you release becomes a trumpet blast in someone else's darkness. As you give, may your storehouses overflow. As you sow, may divine protection rest heavily over your dwelling. Step into this prophetic exchange and secure your place in the harvest. The trumpet has sounded. The truth has been revealed. Your house will never be the same again.